meditation. I watch our little one, our daughter, every day. And honestly, she has so schooled me. I mean, she'll literally sit in her high chair sometimes and just gaze off into nothingness. And I don't know what she's experiencing, but it amazes me because that's a very meditative state.
I mean, I can do that.
You do. And I think that that's a beautiful gift for those out there that are saying, I'm not a meditator, or you, Mare, that believes that you're not a meditator. There is the formality of, having a sit or having an intention of sitting down. And we're going to certainly discuss that today. But gosh, I've done all sorts of meditations, walking meditations, nature meditation, breath meditation, heart meditation, mindfulness meditations where that's more active. There's, dynamic ones where you dance and, you experience your energy up high and then you allow it to, drop in. I think that, life is diverse enough. And what's so wonderful, it's not one particular path for anybody. I think that's what's so beautiful. I think that's what's so meaningful about us coming together and having a conversation is, we're coming together and bringing our life experience. I really recognize it. I really believe we all are in moments when we slow down enough to notice what life is offering us here now.
Okay, I have a few things to say to that.
Okay.
Number one, you and Tony often tease me that I'm kind of the slow one around here.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, my nickname, my mascot, my spirit animal is often the sloth.
Yes.
Which comparatively to Tony Robbins and Sage Robbins, I think I'm not doing so bad. It's all relative.
It's beautiful.
However, even as someone whose nature might be a little slow and watery, my thoughts seem to never move faster than when I actually sit down and try to meditate. And as Tony would say, with anything that you're undertaking, what's the first question you should ask yourself is, what is your outcome? What's your outcome? Said differently, what's the result that you're after when you sit down in that chair, kneel down, however you do it? What do you, I'm asking you too, like what is the result that you're after when you stand up from meditation 15 minutes later? How do you know that you've accomplished what you set out to do when you went in there in the first place?
I don't know that it's necessarily a result per se. I think there's a lot that's happening in the realm of invisible forces. I mean, yesterday we were having a conversation getting ready for this, and you had mentioned that, I think it was Stanford, had said that meditation benefits peace or affects your blood pressure.
Every great reputable university has said it. Harvard said it, Stanford said it, Oxford, anything, Mayo Clinic. There is no shortage of proof, scientific evidence that meditation it can lower your blood pressure. It can reduce your stress. It can add gray matter to the parts of your brain where you want gray matter and take away it where you don't. Like it's not like I need another reason to do it. I'm just not doing it.
Yes.
I just find every excuse, and it's often like, hey, I'm not good at this.
Well, a couple things. I want to, I'd mentioned earlier about not necessarily having a result, even though I think there are many gifts of it. But the majority of the time, it's just to be here now and notice what this beautiful life is offering. Another is also, helping to unravel thoughts. Thoughts that are no longer serving, and to meditate on one's, my own response or reaction to something, to have more of a sincere or broader perception of a moment or of a interaction. That's an active and a dynamic and a living meditation. And I think that, from that perspective, that helps to create space. So, rather than result, maybe it's just the benefits and the gifts. There's tangible and intangible, and you can speak about the science, or I can speak about my experience. But I think that when there's so much demanding our attention externally, I think it's a beautiful gift to give to oneself, to come back to this moment and to notice, even close your eyes and to hear your own breath. To connect to, I'm alive here in this moment and my body's being breathed. That's a miracle, And so sometimes it's the simplicity of that gratitude that reconnects or recalibrates for myself. So I don't know if it's so much a result as much as an experience, and that experience can be vast, especially when you drop the expectation that it should be a something, because mine might see it as a nothing.
Yes.
I don't know if that translates.
You're making me feel better because you know me, I think, in life to be, I'm not a skeptical, cynical person. I am, in fact, irrationally optimistic in most all other areas except perhaps meditation, because I sit down and when you talk about invisible forces, it's like thoughts of certainly invisible forces. So the thought parade starts cruising by. Then it's like, oh, I got an itch on my cheek. Oh, I can't, my back hurts. I mean, just, and then it comes to self-judgment because it just feels like these excuses. And then it's like, I can't meditate. That's it. I'm unlovable. I'm an imposter. I'm stupid. I mean, it escalates quickly. And I suppose from what my limited understanding of meditation, mindfulness is that's exactly the reason why we meditate in the first place, is to become aware of the craziness of our thoughts.
You know, I think if we're honest, we've all been there. You know, we've all had those moments of beating ourselves up, or had those moments of judging ourselves or judging another, because mind judges, you know, it just goes, it's constant, you know, narrative. And so, you know, I don't know, I think adding that extra layer of, you know, continual defense and trying to hold up an identity. There's so much, you know, a phraseology these days is imposter syndrome. And it's so innocent because it's like, am I an imposter? It's like, no, I'm human. I experienced this, that, and the other. You know, I've got a kind heart. I'm a love, and I'm grateful, and I appreciate life. And sometimes I can be frustrated or be selfish or because that's part of the human experience in a moment. Yep. You know, does that define me? No. You let it go and you come back home to our nature, which is love, which is joy, which is ease or grace, and extend that. And I think we're innately, internally, in our nature, we're all that. It's just, you know, it gets covered with conditioning, it gets covered with wounds or life experience. And I think that's one of the gifts of this evolution of life, is we all get to, you know, find our way back to a deeper truth and experience, you know, a broader perspective and kinder reality of life.
You and Tony have a friend, Ellen Langer, and I've heard her, she's, people call her the mother of mindfulness.
Yes, she's a beautiful woman.
And she